It's now time for the WLEW Sports Postgame Show on Sports Radio 102.1 FM, WLEWSports.com, and now live on Facebook. Presented by Sure Health.
It's good afternoon.
Finally.
Good afternoon. It's 12:05 on your dial as the Harbor Beach Pirates dialed in everything as they needed, and they won 31-20. A score which will go down in infamy in the city of Harbor Beach. 31-20, Harbor Beach secures their second state championship in school history, now going 2 for 3 in the finals. They lost in 91, they won in 2012, and now they won in 2025. Unbelievable. We called a lot of Harbor Beach games this year, and we said, boy, they're good now. We just got to keep going. We'll see what they do. They got to get through Beale City. Oh, boy, they got through Beale City. Okay, they got to get through Hudson. And now, domination from start to finish by the Harbor Beach Pirates. 31-20, something that no other team. Ida was able to do it. They're Division 6. They ended up losing to Hudson 8-3. Harbor Beach won 31-20, as it was an unbelievable game. Unbelievable game. A game, a day, a trip, a year I will never forget. Dave Hanson.
Oh, man. It's words cannot describe, and we're not even out there playing with helmets on. Those kids are just losing their mind right now. Childhood dream, like this huge senior class, especially, that all grown up playing together. It's kind of been that team that everybody's been watching for years. Like, they could be really good someday. They lived up to the hype, right? And I think my favorite part about this game was we finally seen them unleashed. Right? They literally showed we have all these things in the playbook that we could show you. We haven't needed it. We didn't use any of it, and we will not put it on tape unless needed. And today, you saw them do all these different things. They kick a field goal. They score on a reverse. We got passing touchdowns. We got rushing touchdowns. We're forcing turnovers. Just a lot of guys stepping up in big moments. And when their number was called, they were up to the task. And it was absolutely a joy to watch and a privilege to be here.
Oh, you ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. Before we get any further in this postgame show, which I apologize to my crew mostly, our postgame show last week went an hour. I did not realize that until we were off air. Yeah, I was looking at that and said, we were on air for an hour?
Right.
Talking about I don't know what. But Dave Hanson, walk us through the scoring plays and big highlights from today's state championship game for the Harbor Beach Pirates.
Well, the Harbor Beach Pirates win the coin toss and go right down the field, capped off by a Caden Buchholz 15-yard touchdown pass to Skylar Cruz. Skylar Cruz also knocks in the PAT, 7-0 early lead for Harbor Beach. Hudson on their first drive turns the ball over, fumble recovered by Skylar Cruz. Just 3 plays later at the 2:39 mark, Caden Buchholz is back at it again. This time he hits Matt Geiger on a 19-yard touchdown pass. The Skylar Cruz point after is good, and at the end of one quarter, it's Harbor Beach 14 and Hudson 0. In the second quarter, more Harbor Beach Pirates. They get their third touchdown in a row unanswered at the 9:51 mark. This time, Caden Buchholz on a 25-yard touchdown run. Skylar Cruz with another PAT, 21-0 Harbor Beach. But before the half is over, Hudson would get on the board at 3:41 with a Grayson Bills 15-yard touchdown run. The 2-point run would be short, and at the half, Harbor Beach would lead 21-6. And I do not want to forget Andrew Caban breaking up a pass in the end zone as time expires to get to that halftime score of 21-6.
21-6 was your halftime score. But right now, we're going to shift attention, actually, to the post-game conference here, thanks in part to Kevin Streeter. So we're going to try and see if this works here, as we're got a little technology going on, and they're waiting for this happened just a few moments ago. Kevin Streeter ran from the upper concourse down to the post-game interview, and I'm not hearing any audio here, Dave.
I was just going to tell you I'm not hearing anything either.
Yeah. Okay. All right, there we go. We're getting some audio now. So they haven't started yet. That's the kicker. So, let's see here. As it's Troy Schelke along with 7 individuals.
we faced a lot of adversity. Benjamin was out for quite a bit. Logan was out. Kid didn't tell anybody that he didn't practice for a while.
Okay, well, we can't quite understand what exactly we're seeing here, but you'll be able to see it on Thumb Audio Video as on their YouTube chain. But Dave Hanson, it was 21-6 at halftime. And walk us through that second half then.
Yeah, let's jump into the third quarter, and Hudson would receive the kickoff to start the second half, and Colt Perry, the quarterback, would break free on a quarterback keeper, a 53-yard touchdown run. Bills would tap on the two-point conversion with a run, and suddenly it's 21-14. Hudson makes it a one-score game, but Harbor Beach would respond, and this time on third down, it's a Skylar Cruz 11-yard touchdown run, and he also knocks in the PAT. It's 28-14, end of the third quarter, but Hudson would respond at the 8-minute mark in the fourth quarter. Grayson Bills, again, a 5-yard touchdown run. The two-point run would be short, but it's a one-score game, 28-20, and Harbor Beach on their next drive would take it all the way down the field. The drive would stall at the 3-yard line, and they call timeout and set up the field goal unit, and Skylar Cruz punches in the 20-yard field goal to extend the lead 31-20, and as Hudson hurries down the field, it would be Benson Harper intercepting the ball in the end zone to end any chance of a Hudson comeback, and one kneel would secure a 31-20 Harbor Beach victory in a Division VIII state championship.
Their second state championship in school history in 3 tries. Unsuccessful in 1991, but that has set the tone ever since for the Harbor Beach program, this time taking out another blue-chip program, knocking out 5 previous state champions this season in 14 games. Hudson, Beale City, Millington, Ubley, and Whiteford. They went out. They said, well, we're going to play the best. That's why they had that home game against Beale City for the regional championship. And we said this team has more to offer than just a regional championship. They got kicked in the teeth against Fowler last year. And now, as a result, they're here in the state championship. And they never blinked, never flinched. Hudson, they flinched. They ransacked everyone they played this year. And I think we saw that a little bit where they didn't know what quite to do when they're down not by just 1 score, they're down by 3 scores. And by that point, it was like running uphill, and Harbor Beach was running most certainly downhill with Caden Buchholz.
100%. And then you tack on the fact that, I mean, you're going to look at the stats here in a little bit and think, wow, Hudson had a lot of yards and a lot of different things, but Harbor Beach was just more efficient. You know, they got the big plays. They got the 20-plus yard plays. The passing game got going. This offense could beat you in a lot of different ways, and again, they found a way to get the lead with the play-action passing game, and in the second half, they grinded out runs, and a lot more runs, led by Caden Buchholz leading the way, punishing defenders, anybody who got in his way, and you can't say enough. The talk all week was Hudson's big, they're physical, they're strong on the line of scrimmage. They sure are. This Harbor Beach team, those offensive linemen, apologize to them for not mentioning them more throughout the game, but they played their absolute tails off, and the biggest moment, creating those running lanes, holding their blocks, again, giving this running game a chance, and on the other side of the ball, making life tough for the Hudson Tigers. They just are used to scoring at will, and I just think eventually the patience got to them. They tried mixing in pass plays that just did not work early. Again, Colt Perry 1 for 6 through the air passing. It's a big difference in the game. Harbor Beach could keep momentum with those plays, putting the ball in Caden Buchholz's hand. Again, just a fun game to watch, and it was fun to see Harbor Beach come out firing on all cylinders and never take that foot off the accelerator.
No, they never looked back, and they as a result ended with 311 yards of offense on 44 plays, resulting in 4 scores, averaging 7.1 yards per play today. They had 22 less plays than the Hudson Tigers and just 39 less yards. 228 of them came on the ground on 36 carries for 2 scores. Efficient passing, 5 of 8 passing for 83 yards and 2 scores for Caden Buchholz, who also led the rushing attack with 15 carries for 145 yards and 1 score. Benson Harper in his final game in a Pirate jersey, 10 carries for 53 yards. Skylar Cruz, 1 carry and the final score of the day on an 11-yard carry into the end zone. Rogan Messing, 6 carries for 10 yards, and Andrew Caban, 4 carries for 9 yards. Like we said, Buchholz, 5 of 8 for 83 yards and 2 scores. Skylar Cruz brought in the first one. He ended up on 3 receptions on the day for 60 total yards and 1 score. Matt Geiger brought in the second touchdown through the air, 1 reception for 19 yards. Then Benson Harper had 1 reception for 4 yards. That's distribution.
It is, and it's just you don't need to pass the ball a ton to be a good passing team, but the run set up the play action, but they went to play action early, and I'm glad they did because they were rewarded. It's not very often you have sort of that 2 tight end threat that not only block well, play defensive end well, but they go down the field and catch the ball really well, really high point the football when it's up in the air, and just makes life miserable for these undersized defensive backs. And then again, there was a couple opportunities for Benson Harper that just went through the fingertips. He's the explosive player. In reality, Hudson did a pretty good job defending him, but that's where these other guys step up in the big moments, the big runs, whether it was Rogan Messing at the end of the game making 3 straight big plays on defense, Skylar Cruz, Matt Geiger getting after the quarterback, catching the football down the field for touchdowns. Just a fun unit to watch, a fun offense, especially on a game like today where they absolutely, there's no worry about tape for the next game. This is it, and we're going to bring it and show it, and they did that, exactly that.
On the defensive side of the ball, Hudson was tackled 54 times by the Harbor Beach defense with 1 tackle for a loss and 1 interception, 1 huge pass breakup from Andrew Caban, and then 1 fumble recovery. Only thing they really didn't have was a sack in this ball game, and everything else went the Harbor Beach's way. And leading the way, as always, this entire season, John Lehrman with 11 tackles, and right behind him, Jonah Dimmock. Those two were neck and neck with most tackles. They don't care, though. All they wanted was to stop the runners in their tracks. They combined for 19 total tackles today from the middle linebacker position. Andrew Caban, 7 tackles, a pass breakup, and they had 2 yards on that tackle for a loss. And Ty Winkle, 6 tackles. Benson Harper, 5 tackles and an interception. Luke Bisher, Rogan Messing, Noah Mellendorf, and Skylar Cruz each with 3 tackles. Skylar Cruz brought in the fumble recovery. Rogan Messing had a tip pass as well in the pass breakup. Benson Harper with the final interception was salted this one away. Matt Geiger, 2 tackles. Peyton Rogenbach, 2 tackles. And Drew Nickrand, 1 tackle on the day. Top to bottom, this was a special team, and we saw Harbor Beach at their full capacity today. We saw it against Millington. That was probably the best game they played all season. They were fired up for that one at Millington. Today, though, this tops it. Against the foe like Hudson, they were in Division 7 last year, lost to Schoolcraft. They lost enough enrollment that they bumped down to Division 8 this year, and everyone figured they were not going to be touched. They scored 130-some points in the last 2 weeks, 67 last week against Allen Park Cabrini in the state semifinals, something you don't do or see all too often. And here, the Harbor Beach Pirates controlled the tempo the whole way through. Yeah,
they got off, again, it starts with a fast start, right? Just knock them on their heels right away with a big uppercut and a couple touchdowns. Recovering that fumble was absolutely huge, and then cashing it in. I mean, it just, like you said, they come up for air to take a breath and look up and go, it's 14-0. We're behind. Yeah. This is weird.
It's 21-0.
Then it's 21-0, and they're going, this has never happened to us before. So I'm not saying they were shell-shocked and didn't understand the theory, because they come flying back. They got it to a 1-score game. But that defense for Hudson, as much as they were hyped up to, had no answers for this offense. This offense won them the game because of the efficiency. They were able to run the football. They made big plays in the passing game when needed, and they got those extra yards just because they just wanted it more. And when it came push to shove, the difference for Hudson on offense, when they had to go to the passing game, it just wasn't there. They just were unable to make those receptions down the field where where Harbor Beach got them to keep drives alive, and the momentum of those big pass plays just brings it right to them. And it's hard not to even mention special teams again, because Harbor Beach, perfect on the extra points. They tack on an insurance field goal to go up by 2 scores, to go up 11.
I love that.
I love it. I absolutely love the call. And again, I do think they had 2 back-to-back run plays so they didn't get a yard. If that was 4th and goal from the 1 at the 1-yard line, I think they go for it. But when it's 3 yards to go, you just don't know with this Hudson defense. They're blinging everybody. So just top to bottom, Harbor Beach was the better football team this morning. They played extremely well. They were hungry, and the fast start set the tone. But I like how they never let off the accelerator, especially on offense. And this defense worked their butts off. They gave up some yards, but they kept this offense in the game and got them an extra possession along the way.
We'd like to thank everyone who made this broadcast and season possible, including Dave, first and foremost, our wives, Abby and Rochelle, for all the support as you don't see throughout the entire season. This is it feels like a full-time job sometimes, but that's besides the point. I'd also like to bring in Doug Cole and Kendall Anthus here. Doug Cole, this wrapped up your 13th season with us here on the WLW Sports Network, and quite the fashion for you.
Yes, it's been a great 13 years. It's been a great 2025. I'm so happy for Harbor Beach. Unfortunately, I was just a year off when they won in 2012.
Yeah,
but
right on the next year.
They're up the next year, and it's been a great year with WLEW, and hopefully I'll be back next year. I'm definitely planning on it.
Well, good. We'll certainly take you.
Yes.
We'll certainly take you. And the other person is the prodigal son who seems to always claim he's leaving, but then never does. That would be Kendall Anthus, our associate producer, who really worked his tail off this entire year for him. I always give him very loose commands and very little description, but an extremely explicit outcome required. And somehow Kendall Anthus knocks it out of the park every single week for us. Kendall Anthus, I can't thank you enough for everything you did this season.
Well, I can't thank you guys for bringing me along every week. I know sometimes I like to talk a little too much in your guys' ears, but I promise I love doing this with you guys, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I'd like to say congratulations to Harbor Beach, and honestly, it's kind of cool. This is my 4th year actually being here for the state title. Last year we weren't here as a crew, but I got to come down with one of my buddies. But in the last 3 years, I've got to see the Thumb take home 3 state titles, and every time it gets cooler and cooler.
Yeah.
So this is awesome. I love doing this, and I love getting to end the season down here.
You always hear about UP power, especially when it comes to the late playoff games, and certainly seems like the Thumb Michigan is kind of putting themselves on the map here a little bit as they get Ubley in 2023, Millington in 2024, and Harbor Beach in 2025, throwing Deckerville last year in 8-player football. You got quite the storied programs up in the Thumb, Michigan.
And we had 2 teams get bounced in the semifinals for 8-man this year.
You take that, and I'll double down on Deckerville, right? They have just a brutal injury at the end of the season at the quarterback position. They keep him. There's a real chance of going back-to-back for Deckerville. So, again, I love what our little towns, our little schools do. I love everything about it. They play a different style of football, and you can see other teams run the T and different things, and Hudson runs it completely different from what we're used to running. I says, but the point is always the same. Physical. We're going to punch you in the mouth right on the first play and every play after that. And the only way you're going to beat us is if you can withstand those haymakers. And the haymakers hit early for Harbor Beach. I want to point out one other thing that I know all you guys are thinking, and I don't want to forget.
Yeah.
But there's a whole heck of a lot more people here than just Harbor Beach people.
Oh, yeah.
Between the Cass City fans and the Bad Axe fans and the Ubley fans and the community, the area, the whole community, the Huron County, Sanilac County, Tuscola County, well represented. They were the last time. When Ubley was here just a couple years ago, that side of the field was packed with people from our area, and I just can't thank you guys enough for making that drive down here to support that local team. I don't care who it is. To come down and watch them play at the highest level at Ford Field is it's a wonderful thing, and these kids work all off season, all season long to put on this performance for you. So I'm glad that we got to see that in person, and you guys did too. And thanks for listening along to us if you were unable to make that trip. But just always love the local community support, whether it's advertising, whether it's coming to the game, whatever it might be. Just love everything about it.
Wow.
Known that there was a whole crew of Lakers football players down in the end zone to start the game. So it was kind of cool. They stuck out with their green in the sea of orange and black, but the boys from Lakers were down there with Coach Lavasser supporting the boys from Harbor Beach.
That is great. We have a few more things to take care of here. First and foremost, it's the Ameriprise Financial Player of the Game who's going to be going home with a T-shirt, and actually, first time all season, Dave Hanson, I think we have a tie or a or two players of the game.
You can't pick one without the other, and it isn't gonna take you long to figure out who it is. And the first one starts with the quarterback, the leader of this team. It starts with Caden Buchholz at quarterback. Just battled through injuries, had a whole bunch of different guys he's handed the ball off to all season long. And I know the first thing he'll do is thank his line, because that's the kind of guy he is. And then he'll say he just loves hitting people. Those are the first 2 things he's going to say. But 15 carries, 145 yards on the ground, setting the pace for this team. He averaged almost 10 yards a carry. He had a touchdown run early in the game. He goes 5 of 8 passing, 83 yards, 2 more touchdowns through the air. Just all around, just on that offensive side, it started and ended with Caden Buchholz. But with that being said, you can't leave your player of the game
Can I do this one?
Go ahead and jump in.
It's a special teams player.
It is a special teams
One
player.
of my favorite players on this team because he is the difference maker in energy, in height, in special teams, you name it, and that is going to Skylar Cruz. The other big key player here, you name it, all 11 are key players on this offense, but Skylar Cruz is going to be our other player of the game, kicking a 20-yard field goal to really seal this one, go up by 2 possessions to win by 11. But then on top of that, he had a touchdown catch. He ended up with 3 catches for 60 yards, and he also ran one in for 11 yards and a score, and just all-around outstanding play from Skylar Cruz.
Yeah, he runs in a touchdown. He catches a touchdown. He kicks a field goal. He's perfect on extra points, and he recovers the first fumble of the game in that first quarter. I'm not sure what he didn't do. We didn't even get a drive the bus reference.
Yeah.
I mean, but he deserves it. And again, taking nothing away from any of these players. Matt Geiger with a huge catch. Rogan Messing making tackles on defense. John Lehrman, 11 of them on you could start and end with all these guys. They all deserve a T-shirt. But in this game, the big moments, the big plays, if it wasn't Caden Buchholz, it was Skylar Cruz. Yeah. And congratulations to those guys. Ameriprise Financial Player of the Game. You guys come up in the biggest moment and helped lead your team to their second state championship in school history.
This was certainly a senior-heavy team, and everyone said, this is it. It all comes down to this for the High Reach Pirates. If they want to get all the way to Ford Field and then get over top of that crest of that wave, which is always the Gales in November are slashing. As always, there it is. Got my reference in for the day. But so now we want to say goodbye to all those seniors who are going to be going out. There's only 8 teams in 11-player football across the entire state of Michigan that get to end the season on a victory, and when it counts the most. And that is going to be because these seniors, Luke Bisher, so halfback, also cornerback, starting quarterback. Benson Harper, halfback, safety. Andrew Gabon, halfback, cornerback. Rogan Messing, the tap bus, fullback, and outside linebacker, also the Secretary of Public Transportation for the squad. Caden Buchholz, can't say enough about him, quarterback. Also plays the middle linebacker. Drew Nickrand, halfback. Matt Geiger, tight end, defensive end. Peyton Rogenbuck, center, defensive tackle. Keegan Potestivio, halfback, middle linebacker. Peyton Rogenbach, like I said. Jonah Dimmock, left guard, middle linebacker. John Lehrman, right guard, middle linebacker. Playing his second year of football this year and leading tackler. Noah Mellendorf, right tackle. Will Rogenbuck, tackle. Doesn't see much time on the play in the week in the game, but you certainly know he's going to be key, everyone's key in the scout offense, really making this game possible for the Hudson Tigers in preparation. Logan Cruz is a sophomore. He'll be back, with younger brother of Skylar Cruz, who certainly has been made a difference in this game today, all season. I can't stress enough, when you can almost guarantee that your opponents are always going to be starting on the 20-yard line. We saw it with Ubley in 2023. When you can pin your opponent back every single kickoff, your extra point is almost automatic. Skylar Cruz is 3 for 3 today in extra points?
4 for 4.
4 for 4. Excuse me. So on the season, that makes him 42 of 51.
Not bad.
About 83.5%.
Yeah,
at extra points.
You nailed it right on the head, because it really wasn't a huge deal, but Brett Mueller made it a deal, right? I mean, he is still the benchmark of what special teams and kicking means in our area. And as last I checked, he's still kicking at a higher level, right?
Valley.
So love that for him. So Skylar Cruz is a notch below that, but you can see the difference, right? He can make you start at the 20 on kickoffs, right, and then shows you, like, I'll get you the automatic one. I'll make you a three-pointer if you want me to, and it's. He hopefully shooting some more three-pointers here soon, but I know Coach Rubel's ready for that. But like I said, you can't say enough about special teams, right? Because it's the difference in the game. It's field position. It's making that Hudson team or any other team go that much further on your defense. You give your defense more opportunities, and when you looked at those stats and see, wow, Hudson had 350 yards of offense, and it never felt like they were close. It never really did. They were moving the ball, but 3-4 yards of play, it doesn't really get you excited too much.
6 for 12 on third downs was Hudson today, and 3 for 6 on fourth downs. Mm-hmm. So 9 of 18 on third and fourth downs today.
We're Harbor Beach averaging over 7 yards of play all in when it comes to passing and rushing. I mean, you just felt big plays were just churning for them, and it was consistent. So just can't say enough about special teams, but you pair that with how this offense rolls top to bottom, and then the defense, they're hungry for more. It's a fun game. It's a fun team to watch, and I don't do this often, but this is a game you'll go back and watch just because they were that fun.
Yeah. Hard to put this one I frankly, I don't want this season to end. It's been such a fun, emotional roller coaster, and from start to finish.
And I think we say that anytime we're
Yeah,
here, right?
yeah,
We were saying the same thing just a couple years ago when Ubley was kind of running through their. Man, they just had a great class, right? I mean, just they were here a couple years in a row, got the job done. It was awesome then. You just didn't want it to stop, right? You wanted them to continue to play more and better teams, and same thing for this team. But again, congratulations to them. Just a well-fought, great season, top to bottom. They had their highs and lows. I mean, this is an injury-plagued team as we've seen in years, and they found their way through it. Other guys stepped up in the big moment. You've named a bunch of them already down here.
Yeah.
Some underclassmen stepped up. Ty Winkle comes to mind, right?
Yep.
He's obviously going to take a huge step forward in the priority list for offense, and he already showed you what he's capable on defense. So, again, just top to bottom, just a really good team led by a really heavy senior class, and you can't thank those veteran coaches enough, man. They game plan was good, and they executed it well.
Yeah. Everyone said, Hudson, they're the real deal. And when you look at the scores, they're scoring 65 points a game. They're just making them, well, not a mockery, but it
comes easy to them.
It comes
right?
easy. They're scoring at 98 yards at a time. They could do anything and everything they wanted at all times until they faced off with the Harbor Beach Pirates in the final and most important week of the season, the state championship game. So, when all said and done, the Harbor Beach Pirates are victorious in the state championship, winning 31-20. If you're just joining us, over the Hudson Tigers to cap off a perfect 14-0 record in the 2025 football season. The second time the state champions are going home to the shores of Lake Huron, that small harbor town of Harbor Beach, Michigan. So, Dave Hanson, before I say my final goodbyes to you, I want to say goodbye once and for this week. Doug Cole's over on the other side of the wall. We can't see them today, but Doug Cole, really appreciate everything you've done for us this year, the last 13 years, the stats that you're able to produce and punch into our system so we can get live stats in front of us, but also to push online. It becomes such a benefit for everyone involved and our listeners, especially, but also me when I'm game prepping for the next week. Doug, I can't thank you enough for everything you do for us. Far away from Livonia, Michigan, every single week.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, it makes my job easier with great play-by-play call and the great analysis by Dave, and then Dan with the spotting, and today Kendall, they do an excellent job calling out the numbers, and that makes my job significantly easier. And it's definitely worth driving up the 2.5 hours up there and getting back at midnight. It's something I look forward to early in the week, going up to the Thumb and recording stats and calling a great game in this great conference in the great region of the state.
Well, Doug, I appreciate it, and we'll see you next year.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, thanks, Doug Cole, signing off for one final time this year. And Kendall Anthus, we kind of said it already, but as associate producer, your role goes extremely underappreciated just because the general public doesn't see everything that you do, because when I'm on air, I'm pretty much locked in. I can't move this seat. But when you are running down, adjusting microphones, making anything happen, grabbing the drone, getting new batteries into the drone mid-game, you name it, you do it all for us, and I can't thank you enough. You're not getting paid to be here, and really appreciate everything you do.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Like, I look forward to it every week. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do on Friday nights now. This is what I look forward to at the end of the week. We get to Thursday and it's like, all right, it's time to call a game. Like, here we go. But like I said earlier, I thank you for bringing me along. I have a great time, and I wouldn't know what else to do on a weekend. So,
well, our listeners should really appreciate Kendall more than anyone, because he makes us kind of the whole thing. He's the one squirting the oil and all the loose joints, especially throughout the whole broadcast.
He's the Swiss Army knife, right? There's nothing he can't do, won't do.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Well, it wasn't that long ago. He was running uptown buying you logs, chunks of wood, and just,
4x4s.
Yeah, just everything. I mean, there's nothing he won't do. And but I think the most important thing he said is, it's an enjoyment. We have fun.
We have so much fun.
This is clearly not our day job. It's definitely not mine. We do it because it's fun, the passion for the game, and if it's a 0.5% way to give back to the community, to give back to today, these fans and this team this year, then it makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, this year has really been so special. heartwarming for me. I have the most amazing. I posted on Instagram and Facebook this week a photo from last week where we're all mid call, but we're all just belly laughing.
Yes.
All of us in Alpena, and it was so much fun. Every step of the way. Ed Klump, of course, on the sidelines. Really appreciate all of him. Again, another unpaid employee of our staff here, who certainly has a way with words and finding the enjoyment out of life no matter what he's doing. So Ed Klump, really appreciate all his help. He actually caught up with Troy Schalke and Kevin Streeter down in the press conference. So we'll have those interviews for you at some point down the road. But check back our Facebook page, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and also TikTok. TikTok's going to be your key spot there for all the highlights, as that's the fastest growing social media platform we have, as well as in the United States and the world. So go and give us a public shameless plug here. Go and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, you name it, we're all there. And, of course, go to WLWsports.com. Last week, 39 different states went to WLW Sports last Saturday when we were in Alpena in 38 countries. 39 states, 38 countries tuned into the game last week in Alpena. And that's truly the biggest sign of trust that you have in us to carry and narrate this tale into the late days of November.
Yeah, just to put up with us every Friday night or Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning. We appreciate it all. That's what technology is great for. That's the best part of it right there, is to be able to reach all these different people all over the world, in this case, to listen to a high school football game, right? With a school with 212 students.
Yeah, Bill Mullally from the Hudson Gazette is a prime example there. He caught up with us a few times. Now, I feel like I found a new best friend in Bill Mullally. But he went back and watched all of our old broadcasts and really appreciated it, and it gave us very kind words, which I really appreciate. And then Lyle Hurd is from Northwest Ohio. He reached out this week as well. He had a friend who had a kid on a team last year, and he couldn't find the game, but he somehow stumbled across our broadcast, to the point where he caught every game last year and then every game this year. He's talking about how far the crow flies. Things that are very minute in our broadcast that he's clearly paying attention. And he lives in Northwest Ohio, and he has a new appreciation for thumb football. That's what means so much. Hopefully, we gave the spotlight to these kids that some of them might never have a stage like they did today or this year or the last 4 years. And so to have what they have here, hopefully we did you due justice and do our due diligence to make sure that this is forever enshrined in lore of Harbor Beach.
Yeah, in this case, Harbor Beach, yes, absolutely. That is always our goal, is to, again, call out the plays as we see them, as honestly as we can, brutally most of the time. But like I said, in this case, if somebody does something great, you're going to hear about it. And like I said, if we leave anybody out, we try to make up for it. So,
and there's one other person on our broadcast team that really is what surged us forward this year, and that is Kevin Streeter of Thumb Audio Video. We started in regional basketball last year. Kevin Streeter certainly, we tied up in regional basketball last year to start a broadcast together. And we said, let's figure out something for football. So it started out, okay, well, Whiteford's on a Saturday, week 2, down in Davis. Let's try it there. And we hashed out a deal and got Sure Health to be on board as our presenting sponsor to make it all possible, and haven't looked back since. Every single week, I kept apologizing to Kevin. I said, I'm sorry that I keep pushing you further. And he's like, no, this is great, because it's making a better broadcast. So by the end, we had a sideline camera. We had a drone up in the air. We had better, our score bug was updated. We had new technology working in. Sometimes it didn't always work, but it was certainly in a good effort. And that's what really, I think, our draw was even stronger than normal this year, and really appreciate everything that Kevin Streeter of Thumb Audio Video brought. We'll be doing this in basketball too, and then we'll be back to football next fall as well. So certainly appreciate Kevin Streeter's help this entire season. And there's one other person on our broadcast team that you'll never hear on air except for pregame, maybe at halftime for a hot second, and postgame, and that's Dan Banky. He's been our spotter for 9 years, and it killed me that he couldn't be here today, but we know he's listening. And Dan Banky has the attention to detail. We call him the best spotter in the business, not as a joke, but because it's the real thing. That man can spot a dime from a mile away. And as a result, we don't miss much on the field because I sound very intelligent because Dan Banky's giving me all the information I need about the play, who's carrying the ball, who made the tackle, who's substituting in, who has an injury, who needs tape on their shoulder. You name it, Dan Banky sees it out there, and he makes us sound very, very smart.
Absolutely. It's the key to the whole thing, right? The stats are check that box, in the moment, who's got the ball, who made the tackle. That's another box you can check, right? And Dan helps with that. But it's what makes him a great golfer, too. He never loses a golf ball. He can always find it, right? So
very true.
But, we love having Dan, all jokes aside, and we definitely missed him today, and I know it kills him not to be here, especially with Harbor Beach.
With the outcome,
especially with the outcome. But I know he wants to be here, and I know he's still listening. He definitely was chirping all the way through.
He was giving us pointers. Yeah. He was giving us pointers throughout the game.
It never stops. So, again, love Dan for that. He is the best in the business, and we're lucky to have him, and appreciate you again, my man.
And a big shout-out to Kayla O'Neill, who joined us the last 2 weeks as our sideline camera operator. It kind of fell in our lap. He said, are you or Jay available to help us out? And Nelson, Kayla jumped at it. He said, all right, great. And she, a quick learner. It went from very little. We're like, oh, this is going to be a long day for Kayla. Then all of a sudden she found the stability, and then we got her a little better setup for the following week in Alpena, and she knocked it out of the park as well. So really, especially for high school football, we hope we've presented a product for you all year that you can something to be proud of and you can brag to your friends, and certainly I get a lot of the credit just because I'm the main voice you hear, and Dave of course too.
As you should.
But really appreciate everyone that has had kind words for us over the last 14 weeks, and it's been a fun run. This year I will never forget. Not because I'm from Harbor Beach, that certainly has a factor there, but it doesn't matter who wins the state championship, whether it's Ubley, Harbor Beach, Deckerville. We've been here for them all, and I can't thank enough our listeners. That's a friendship and a partnership we have throughout the late days of summer all the way through Thanksgiving weekend, and we're coming home with a state championship in tow.
Yes, it just tops off all the hard work, right? All the time and effort and energy and everything else that goes with it. So again, just we're proud of whatever team makes it as far as they go, and then this year happens to be the Harbor Beach Pirates, and again, congratulations to them. Just an awesome feeling right now.
So Dan Banky, on behalf of Dan Banky, who's not here, but Doug Cole, Ken Lanthus, Dave Hanson, Kevin Streeter, Kayla O'Neill, Ed Klump on the sidelines. Gentlemen and lady, thank you for all the help, and we've had a great year this year.
Yes, and I speak for everybody, and thank you for everything that you do. And you talked about pushing Kevin further. I mean, you have a vision, and and you're never complacent. So it's one of your best features is how can I get more out of this, right? And I think that's one of your best features, and it may be frustrating sometimes for others, maybe spouse, but it is a good thing to have, and that's why the broadcast has evolved from a cell phone and two guys talking about football to what you see now with the banners and the lights and the audio with the video now, and the way it's evolved. I keep thinking, wow, we've really maxed out, and then next week there's something new. And that's what makes it interesting and awesome and exciting every single week.
Yeah, Dave, can't thank you enough throughout everything. It's been a lot of fun. Been a lot of fun, and we'll do it again next year.
If you want me, I'll be back.
I'll be okay. You're just filling in on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah, if you can't find anybody, I'll be here. That's another story for another day. Another lightning
I'm sure
delay.
Many of our listeners have heard that in the meantime. It's 12:42. We started this broadcast at 8:30 in the morning. I think it's time we get off air here. So, on behalf of Ken Lanthus, you had something in their ears here?
Oh, don't you forget about that media roundtable.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
There it is.
There it is. Kendall Lanthus was the most correct. It was an 11-point victory for the Harbor Beach, and Kendall Lanthus took Harbor Beach by 10, 28-18. So not only did he clinch a share, but he won it outright today. So Kendall Lanthus, your outright media roundtable champion. He's going home with a crystal, which we'll have to give him some point if he's not going to come back next year, which we've heard that before. But
I'm not saying it this year because I have
that'll
too much
be the
fun.
year. That'll be the year.
Yeah, that'll be the year.
So congratulations to Kendall Lanthus, your 2025 media roundtable champion.
Thank you.
Not that it was a goal, but we shut out Paul Adams this year too. So it was not the intention, but
somebody else went undefeated.
Yeah, so okay, that's enough. No, and since we're thanking everyone, Paul P. Adams deserves a huge amount of credit. He's with us every single week, whether he's here in person or not. He's part of our media roundtable. It's a constant conversation throughout the entire week, Paul P. Adams and me, through the Huron County View. To make this possible, we're exchanging stats, we're exchanging notes, everything you can possibly imagine. The Thumb is lucky to have the coverage we do because of Paul P. Adams in the Huron County View.
Oh, I tell you what, talk about a guy that just loves what he does, is really good at what he does, and is extremely passionate about it. And I guarantee you he's underpaid. I guarantee it. But again, it's for the love of the game, all the games, not just football, right? All the sports that he covers, hustles to all these games. And again, he loves talking about it, and he's very knowledgeable. And again, really good at what he does with a camera and just getting the best thing put forward. Love what he does. Appreciate you, my friend. Again, wished you were up here today, but you got the best seat in the house today.
Yeah, so appreciate Paul P. Adams and everyone else here. Today's game broadcast is brought to you by Thumb Sayer and AVS Broadband, Kotick Radiator and Air Conditioning of Bannex, Rainey's Hunting Center, 269 Guns, North Star Bank guiding the way, Countryside Sales and Service, DS Services of Cass City, Thumb Bank and Trust, Thumb Electric and TEC Fiber. Harbor Beach Community Hospital, a proud partner of Sure Health. Ramsey Funeral Home, our family serving yours since 1948. Wessel's Enterprises, Harbor Beach Hardware, the Michigan High School Athletic Association, and Sure Health. Better health, better life. Are you sure? Oh, that's the best one the whole season. I will say that. Maybe because Ed Klump's not here. So on behalf of our entire broadcast team, we have Doug Cole, Director of Sports Information, Kendall Anthus, Associate Producer and filling in as spotter today, Dan Banky, our best spotter in the business, Dave Hanson, in-game analysis, Kevin Streeter for Thumb Audio Video, Ed Klump on the sidelines all season for us, Kayla O'Neill, our camera operator, Rochelle Ramsey, Abby Hanson, a key part to this team, everyone else that makes this all possible. On behalf of everyone from WLW Sports, happy Thanksgiving. Congratulations to the Harbor Beach Pirates, and we'll see you for basketball probably Friday, January 9th with Steve Bone and Clark Ramsey, maybe even Mark Gainforth, as it's been a historic run for the Pirates and a historic year for us here on the WLW Sports Network. Good night, folks, and so long. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate it.
This has been a presentation of the WLEW Sports Network, powered by AVS Broadband. On Sports Radio 102.1 FM and live and worldwide at WLEWsports.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Just search for WLEW Sports. Your home for high school football is the WLEW Sports Network.